What is going on, everybody? What is going on, world? What is going on, sports world? Normal world? Was there a football game tonight? Because I thought I watched the basketball game. At least the score was like one of a college basketball game or maybe a high-scoring WNBA game. What a game that was. Holy Toledo. Ironically enough, there was a player that went to Toledo playing in that game. Kareem Hunt. What a game that was. Sorry we're a little late, but we just had to, I had to drain some adrenaline glands. I had to reach into my body and drain some of my adrenaline glands from that wonderful, wonderful game that we just witnessed. I hope you all enjoyed it as well. Hopefully it didn't completely destroy your fantasy teams. Todd Gurley owners. How'd the Rams score 54 points and Todd Gurley was barely even a part of it? 12 rushes, 55 yards. 3 catches, 39 yards. Barely any Todd Gurley in that game. So it could have hurt you. You probably saw this. You said, man, 54 points. I have Todd Gurley. He at least has 30. Nope. Patrick Mahomes doing Patrick Mahomes things. 6 touchdowns and 5 turnovers. Yes, let me say that again in case you didn't hear me properly. 6 touchdown passes. And just himself, 5 turnovers. Yes, I'm going to say it again just in case you didn't hear me. 6 touchdown passes and just himself, by himself, just under the Mahomes tag in the stat line. 5 turnovers. So take that, Patrick Mahomes, people. That's right. You got 6 touchdowns, minus 2 points for turnover. So you lost 2 touchdowns. Or if you're playing 4 touchdowns, you lost 3 touchdowns. Still well done. And there's no defense in the NFL anymore. Nope. The only team that has a good defense is the Bears. Every other team, not good defense. There is no longer defense in the NFL. And like I said in Trust We Sports last week, if you didn't hear it, you should. If you didn't listen to it, then you're a fool. It's on SoundCloud and iTunes. Listen to it. I said, why even put the defenses on the field? I was kind of right, but also kind of wrong, because if you play the defenses, you probably got more fantasy points than most of the defenses that played over the weekend. Yeah. On a 54 to 51 game, if you played either defense, you probably outscored the Chargers, the Panthers, the Jets, any one of the other defenses that played this weekend. Not named Houston. Yeah, or the Colts. Crazy. That's where we've come to. 54-51, the Rams overtaking the Kansas City Chiefs now. And in a way, if the Chiefs would have won this game, it would have hurt fantasy teams from both sides. It would have hurt all your Rams players and would have hurt all your Chiefs players if the Chiefs would have won this game. But now that Rams won, it does not hurt your fantasy players in the playoffs as it would if it went the other way around. Now Todd Gurley owners can take a little bit of a breath because they're still chasing the Saints. And now the Chiefs fans, if they would have won with the Chargers losing, can now take a little, know that they may have Pat Mahomes and Kareem Hunt and everyone playing in the better half of the season as you try to win your fantasy trophies. So the best outcome for fantasy players all the way around in the scoreline, unless you have Todd Gurley, and in the long run towards your championships. Well, welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to Monday Night Rants. What a game we just saw. Sorry we're a little late, but we had to catch our breath, drain our adrenaline glands, and a lot more than that. Feel free to ask your questions. I know we have been gone for 2 weeks. Little hiatus, as you would. I had to restructure the show a little bit. I had to go on one of those journeys without taking drugs. Go out to the middle of the desert and lay on the ground and stare at the sun and the moon and listen to the wolves howl. Ow! And go, how can I make this show better? If a clown wasn't enough, what else can I do to make the show a better experience for everyone? So we're back. We are back. And you know who else is back? My boy. But I'm always down for the one-on-one. He was so upset last week we didn't have the show, but DMX himself is back and ready to party tonight. To party on Monday Night Rants, November the 19th of 2018. And we have a special show for you tonight because it is the Thanksgiving episode. I don't have any turkey buttons. I should have gotten a turkey button. But here's a turkey for you. Close enough. Gobble, gobble, grunt, grunt. Same thing. So we're going to have a special segment when we, at the end, the last half of the show, where we're going to say what NFL teams and players are thankful for. That's right. What they are thankful for. What we think or feel that they're thankful for. Thankful for. Thankful for. Not full. Not full. I'm not 4 years old. For. It's going to be pretty funny. So please stay tuned for that. It's going to be off the chains, as they would say. Off the hizzle. For shizzle my nizzle. And all that good Snoop Dogg lingo that we've all gotten accustomed to over the years. So, what we're going to do now is we are going to talk about latest news and notes from the week 11 as it happened over the weekend, everything that happened in the NFL. And then we're going to talk a little college football. It's rivalry week. That's right. What's going on with Alabama? Can they be beat? The Game, as they call it. The Game. By the way, The Game is with Michael Douglas. It's a great movie. You should watch it. Michigan and Ohio. Yes, The Game. I know. The Mad Hatter is back. Les Miles has a job. Les Miles. Yes, Les Miles. That LSU Les Miles has a job. Wait till you find out where. And what an uphill mountain he has to climb there. And who ends up in the top 4? Who's going to the college football playoffs, according to us, gentlemen. Not much going on in the NBA, so I don't know if we're going to touch on that a little bit. We may if we have time. And then the second half of the show, that's right. What are these NFL teams and players thankful for? Spoiler alert. Wait till you see what I have to say about Le'Veon Bell in this one. Just when you thought I had nothing more to say about Le'Veon Bell, he makes my Thanksgiving special. Woo! Party. Yeah. Woo! Yeah. He's back, Le'Veon Bell, but not in football. No. Just in my Thanksgiving special. So join the show. Ask us questions. I will answer questions the entire time. You have something you want to ask me? Well, don't be a fool. Selena Martin says, go Rams. And you know what? She's right. Go Rams. So we're going to move forward, and I'm going to welcome in some analysts to help me out tonight as we go forward in the new era of Monday Night Rants, the special Thanksgiving episode. By the way, short week this week. In Trust We Sports will be recorded Wednesday night this week, so it'll be available for all your listening pleasure. You know what? While you're cooking your turkey or making your stuffing with grandma, go to iTunes. Put on it In Trust We Sports. Listen to it while you're cooking. Show the whole family how great sports talk should be. Put it on. Listen. Enjoy. And guess what? Jugs. That's right. The Fantasy Clown. At The Fantasy Clown on Twitter. He will be there this week. He's back from his Thanksgiving vacation that he had, and he's going to be there with some great news and notes and all his he's and everything else he does this week. So listen to the show. It's SoundCloud.com's In Trust We Sports and Apple Podcasts In Trust We Sports. Just search it. It comes up right away. I tried it. I tested and test approved. All right, so let's bring in Anthony Zaragoza. You know him from Interest Sports and this program, and Josh Danhill also from this program as well. We're going to talk about latest news and go into our college football a little bit, and then we're going to go into our Thanksgiving special. Gobble, 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 gobble. Let's bring him in. Let's see what they have to say. Let's quiet. Let's quietly bring him in. Gentlemen, are you with me?
Yes, I'm right here.
Oh, you sound like a terrible Batman.
You know I am.
All right, so we got Lego Batman and Josh on the line.
So Will Arnett.
Yes.
No, my bad. I was just draining my adrenaline glands.
You were draining your adrenaline glands too, huh?
This is a PG-13 show, Edward. Come on.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't aware that draining your adrenaline glands meant something else, but by the looks on your faces, apparently it does. So I'm sorry for all the kiddies out there.
Oh my gosh.
Let's move on, shall we?
We shall.
All right, gentlemen. This is Anthony Zaragoza at Zaragoza Anthony on Twitter, and Josh Stanhill, which is at J Stanhill on Twitter, correct?
Yes, sir.
And we are going to talk about what happened in Week 11. A lot has happened over the last couple of weeks since we've been gone, but you know what? That's old news. So we're still going to talk about good news. Well, not good news, but the latest news, I guess. And I guess you could say, I mean, a lot of things happened over the weekend, but the biggest news, injury-wise, had to do with one Mr. Conservative himself, Alex Smith. Now, the injury was nasty. If you haven't heard, Alex Smith went all Joe Theismann on us and tore up his leg. And I found out today that you couldn't see it, but the bone went through his skin.
And on the anniversary, right?
I don't know. It was close. I don't know if it was the exact date, but I think the same week maybe. But, yeah, it's nasty. He's out probably for, one could say, his career, to be honest. And, hey, guaranteed money. Guaranteed money. And it's close to $70 million guaranteed for Alex Smith. And he may never play football again. He's going to need it with all those bills from the that's for sure. But we wish him the best of health. But it does a lot in the NFL world because there's a team that's in first place and now has to go to Colt McCoy. They just signed Mark Sanchez on a one-year deal, and he's bringing on the hot dogs because he's going to be hungry on the sidelines as he's sitting there doing nothing. But this turns the division completely opposite. Even though the Eagles got embarrassed, more on that later, they still have a chance. The Cowboys, they may be the favorite to win it now. The Giants, yeah, we won't go that far. But Anthony, how do you feel the Alex Smith injury turns this division upside down?
Well, I think kind of like what you said, it opens it up for everybody else. I think Alex Smith, his style of play fit the Redskins this year. They battled with that Darius Geis injury early on. Peterson stepped in really well, but defensively, they've been led with their stout secondary, their rush defense, almost similar to the Bears. They haven't got a lot of credit like the Chicago Bears have, but that Redskin defense has been keeping them in a lot of games. And now without Alex Smith, it's not like they're asking Colt McCoy to do a lot, but he's played probably as much as all three of us combined in the NFL. So to see him go out there and have to win pivotal divisional matchups, even though they're not, like playing in, some of these tougher divisions, but still, you're going to be asking a lot from Colt McCoy, and I just don't know if he's able to stand up. Like you said, it brings in the Cowboys, who once, earlier in the season looked like they were going to be destined for another non-playoff season, and now they're in the thick of things with almost controlling their destiny. They got two matchups coming up the next couple of weeks against the Giants and the Redskins, and they almost kind of have their destiny in their hands. So interesting what Jason Garrett and Zeke Elliott and all of them are going to do over there. But yeah, it opens it up. Even the Eagles now have a little bit of hope. There's hope for there.
There's hope for them.
For the Eagles. There's hope for them. So hopefully that kind of jump starts them, gives them some kind of excitement. So this is going to be a exciting last 6 of the weeks in the NFC East for sure. So I'm looking forward to it.
Definitely. Josh, who wins the division now?
Oh God, it's going to be the Eagles, and it's going to be with a sub 500 winning.
Ooh, going out on the limb. I like that.
But it's because the Redskins, when you only could count on Michael Floyd and Josh Dotson to receive from a Colt McCoy, is not really going to be an offense, and to put everything on an Adrian Peterson, it's not going to happen. So your defense isn't going to play offense for you, and the Cowboys, you can't rely on Ezekiel Elliott for everything, and until Amari Cooper and Dak have more of a connection than the 3 to 4 passes that he has been getting since he's been there, I don't see it really happening.
Okay. Yeah, I think the Dallas Cowboys sneak out the division here. And that's just my opinion. I think they're in the better position, better schedule going forward. And, the Philadelphia Eagles have questions they need to be answered. And at least Dallas has been playing close in every game. Speaking of not being in every game, the Eagles, they just got dominated by the Saints. Completely domination. That's 3 weeks in a row. The Saints have shown that they could dominate anyone outside and in. And remember, we were talking about earlier, they could beat the teams outdoors in low-scoring games like they did against for example, the Ravens earlier this year. So the Saints are dominating the NFL right now, and their defense has really stepped up and is playing a lot better as well. We saw tonight, two offenses can go crazy, but I think it's the defenses that is going to take a pivotal role in the playoffs. It's going to go offense, 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 and the playoffs, I just have a feeling it's going to be defense that changes the whole outlook of everything. The Saints are dominating, and yes, they're great indoors. Well, at the pace they're in, after tonight, they're not on that pace except the head-to-head win against the Rams. But they have a chance to play indoors the entire playoffs with a bye, including the Super Bowl in Atlanta. The Saints are dominating. Josh, what's your thoughts on the Saints, and do they have a legit chance to win the whole thing this year?
I think the only people that are going to stop them is the team that played tonight and won, which is the Rams. It's the only team that come close because they have a defense that can show up. Not saying that they do every week, but like this week, because you got somebody like Patrick Mahomes, who's going to throw just like Drew Brees. But you also have a higher-powered offense that can match that of the Saints.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I mean, the NFC and the AFC are completely two different characters right now. Anthony, what are your thoughts on the Saints, and do you think they're going to go all the way to the Super Bowl?
Man, it's going to be tough for them to get home field advantage against the Rams, but if they somehow do, and everything has to go through Mercedes-Benz Dome, they're 11-2 since 2017 at home, so they're pretty much unbeatable. Drew Brees, the way he's playing right now, Patrick Mahomes getting a lot of the credit for his MVP type season, which is well deservingly. But Drew Brees is having another phenomenal year, and you got to look at it with, outside of Michael Thomas as a receiver, he's getting a lot of guys. Traquan Smith, who I heard hyped up earlier in the preseason.
Who? What was his name?
I think they pronounce it Traquan Smith.
How many receptions did Traquan Smith get yesterday?
I think he went over 100 and caught a touchdown.
It was 10. It was 10.
10?
Mm-hmm.
You know his stats like you're the one hyping him up.
Yeah, maybe it was me. I don't know. Or was it Jugs? I don't know. Maybe it was.
You know what? That's what he does. He gets these receivers that a lot of guys don't see outside of Edward Rouse, of course, and makes them into something. They get injuries, guys go out on IR, whatnot, and he just promotes them up and makes them who they are. So the Saints are really tough to beat, especially at home. So if they could somehow take home field advantage, which it's going to be tough to do against the Rams, it's going to be tough to beat them over there in New Orleans. But like you said, the NFC is stacked. They got some defensive teams in there. There's a lot of talent and offense and defense in that conference.
Yeah, that's true. Speaking of defense, real quick, though, Justin Watch says the Bucs are greater than the Saints because it's their only loss, week 1.
What? No. Tell Justin to stop being a homer. Come on.
Ask him from what quarterback threw that.
Yeah, well, not the starter anymore because he's been benched again. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers need 3 hands. 3 hands. One to put Fitzpatrick in, one to put Winston in, and the third hand to put the pile of shit in. and then try to figure out from there. So, all right, moving forward here. Speaking of great defenses, yes, the Bears. The Bears, huge win against Minnesota. What a great actually, that was actually a really fun game to watch just defensively. The Bears, all their defensive players are moving all over the field. Players like Hicks, you haven't really heard of until they're on the big stage like that. Roquan Smith, what a great rookie looks like. And, of course, it was the Khalil Mack show all the way around. Looks like Cousins couldn't do anything. A lot of the points were kind of garbage, to be honest. Anthony, are the Bears legit contenders?
Oh, I think without a doubt they're legit contenders. And the great thing about the Bears coming up to the schedule, they have the Rams in 2 Sundays on a Sunday night tilt. They flex that game.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to find out right out of the gate what's going to be kind of leading this whole NFL. Is it going to be a prominent defense with all the stars you mentioned, or this Rams offense? So I think the Bears, they show they can shut down offenses. They did that against the Vikings. You know, Kirk Cousins was pretty much non-existent until like the last 5 minutes of the game yesterday. They were able to shut down Adam Thielen and Diggs for the most part of the game. It's almost like those 80s Bears teams. They're just shutting you down and forcing you to get points when you can. And offensively, if they can just get enough, firepower from Mitch Trubisky, they're going to be tough team to beat, especially when that weather gets cold. Like, who wants to go to Chicago in that cold weather
Outdoor.
and play them?
Yep.
It's not going to be sunny LA like it was Monday night, so
No.
It's going to be interesting to see. But, yeah, I think the Bears are definitely legit contenders. And if I was a team right now, I would not want to see them on the schedule when it comes January. And
completely shut down Dalvin Cook. Completely, 100%. Josh, are the Bears, I know, hurt your heart, but are the Bears contenders?
No, I agree, but Trubisky has to be more efficient, just like Anthony said. I mean, the guy can scramble all he wants, but he still needs to hit more efficiently. He's just too spotty. He just needs to work a little bit more on that passing game for long throws, not the short throws that he has. Because defenses are going to catch up to that, start playing QB coverage on him, and see how far he can really throw. But they have to start getting their ranks up higher and higher in the NFC list to really start hosting some games come, like you were saying, come January.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're contenders, but it's going to be tough stopping a team like the Rams and the Saints in the playoffs, especially if it's not in Chicago. So speaking of bonehead moves of the weekend, rough segue, I know, but the Carolina Panthers, who are kind of controlling their own destiny, they have no chance to win their division, but all they got to do is win games, and they automatically get that playoff spot. Decided they want to go for 2 to try to win the game against Detroit. And I know Gano had struggled in the game, but it's still Graham Gano. He's one of the most decorated kickers in the league. They decided to go for 2 to win the game instead of going to overtime and trying to beat a team that you could beat because you have a better team. So instead of putting it just extra point, go to overtime and try to win in overtime because you have, again, the better team, you try to go for 2 and you failed quite miserably, to be honest. Why? Why are you going for 2 in that situation? You already have a playoff spot. You know you have the better team. Yet you're going for 2 to try to win a game. You're not 3-7. You're not just trying to give a good old lift to your team. What are you doing? Why are you gambling like that? I know his nickname is Riverboat Ron. It really is. And I come to find out he never gambles, ever. I don't even know why that's his nickname, because he's never gone. He's like the least going for 4th downs in the league. He has the least amount of fake punts. He's not Riverboat Ron. He should be called Conservative Ronnie. That should be his name. Yet he goes for 2 What did someone say? Hey, man, your name is Riverboat Ron. You should probably go for 2 and try to win the game, huh? Anyways, they went for 2. They lost. And now, you know what? That playoff spot doesn't look so nice anymore when you have a better team. Anthony, should the Panthers have gone for 2?
You know what? Conventional thinking says no. I think for the majority of the time, you don't go 2 there, especially when you're the road team. You try to take it to overtime. You got the better team. But I'm going to give Ron Rivera a little credit here. If there's ever a time to go for 2, I think you pretty much explained it. Gano struggled. He missed every kick he attempted. He missed the 2 extra points and the field goal. If there's ever a time to say, you know what, offense, Cam Newton, go win us this game, I'm okay with that. I wish the play call was a little different. I don't want Cam throwing it when it comes when the game's on the line. I want them to do some kind of read option. So that's my question with them is the play call. I wish they would have done some kind of read option there. I know it's a little tougher when it gets kind of bunched up in the red zone there from the 2-yard line, but I would have done a different play call. I'm okay with that. Roll the dice a little bit, you know?
Yeah, and that worked so well for Tennessee earlier this year too, huh?
I knew you were going to bring that up, but you know, I think it's 2 different situations. I think because of the way the kicker was struggling. Nowadays in the NFL with the new extra point, it's not all given, and you can tell these kickers, they're people, man. They get rattled. Gano was probably hoping, please, Riverboat Ron, go for 2, so I don't got to go out there. His legs are shaking, and I could tell that was a good move. I think team-wise, that was a good move. Obviously, the results, you know, don't say that, so everybody's going to really point their fingers at him. But I think this is one of those few times where I'm okay with it because leading up to that point, it made sense as far as a team-wise. Everybody else is going to say, yeah, you don't do that. But this is one of those situations where I think it's okay.
Well, if they miss the playoffs by 1 game, then we'll talk. Josh, how do you feel about the 2-point at the end of the game, which is 0 for 2 in the league this year, by the way?
Yeah, you kick the ball, and just like Eddie says, you have the better team. You go out there and you win the game with Cam Newton with the full extra time and knowing that you can do it.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Josh probably eats peanut butter jelly sandwiches with the crust on. I can just tell.
He probably puts ketchup on his macaroni and cheese, just like Pat Mahomes.
Oh, I know it.
Barbecue sauce.
All right, guys, moving on to the AFC real quick. Is Lamar Jackson a 1-game wonder? I called it on in Trust V Sports. I said he's at least going to get 70 yards rushing in this game. He went over 100. I mean, that's all he does. It's like Michael Vick without an arm. Like, let's be real. And, you know, he had 100 yards passing interceptions. That kind of negated that. But, you know, you got your 14 to 16 points basically from him starting. I know it was against Cincinnati, and it's a tough road ahead for Baltimore.
I don't think so. I see him winning the next game, maybe 2. He does play the Raiders at home this week.
Oh, yes, he does play the Raiders at home this week. But if they're still in the playoff spot in the AFC and Flacco does come back healthy, what do you do?
I think you got to start Flacco. Lamar Jackson is that dynamic player. What he showed on Sunday, I think, is the kind of player he is. He struggled passing the ball. He had a bad interception, like you mentioned. But you don't want, especially, have you seen Lamar Jackson? He's like as thin as a twig. The guy should not be carrying the ball 27 times in an NFL game. That is recipe for RG3 all over again. You don't want him running the ball that much. I don't think that kind of style is sustainable in the NFL. So as far as a 1-game wonder, I'm gonna give a question mark. If he can develop, I think he can probably get to be an adequate quarterback in the NFL. But to do that game in and game out, it's not going to work, especially when they start playing these divisional games later in the season. It's going to be tough on him, especially playing against the Steelers, getting beaten up. I don't like that. It's not going to be good.
See, I got a different approach. I say if you are going to approach that and Flacco is healthy, you do like the Saints do, and occasionally you throw him in and play him at the QB and have him run it. Do whatever you need to and have Flacco off to the side.
Because nobody's going to know what they're doing, right?
Yeah, but I'm just saying he still can run the ball. He still can, you know, he might have those rookie didn't know, you know, He wants to make sure that the read doesn't want to make sure he messes it up too much in the first game. Get those butterflies out, see what he does in the next one.
Yeah, well, Lamar Jackson was originally cast in the movie Slender Man, but got drafted in the NFL and decided he would give up his acting career.
I thought it was Harsh Times instead of Christian Bale.
Yeah. Speaking of harsh times, the Chargers over the weekend. Wow, talk about dominating the game in every aspect except for penalties and turnovers, and still finding a way to lose. A lot of people are pointing to the extra point. But actually, if it wasn't for if they would have made the extra point, then the Broncos wouldn't have gone for 2 and it would have equaled out the same way. So it wouldn't have really mattered. But yeah, the Chargers just, and they did this against the Seahawks and even against the Raiders in a way where they kind of took this commanding lead and then slowly they just kind of let them hang around until the end, and this time it bit him in the ass. McManus has one of the strongest legs in the NFL, if not the strongest leg, not named Greg the Leg. So perhaps maybe it's kind of a showing of what they kind of are. And I know Phillip Rivers threw 2 terrible interceptions, and it was a game that they should have won, and it could cost them. I'm sure they're still going to make the playoffs, but do you think this kind of is the typical downswing of the Chargers, as you would, that seems to happen every year?
I'm going to say no, just because the Chargers themselves as a whole, they're a really good team, especially in the AFC. And when you play a divisional game against the Broncos, you see them every year. You start to grow tendencies with these teams. That's why sometimes you see these upsets when it comes to teams that you play twice a year. So I'm going to chalk this more up of, this is just a Broncos team coming into town. Chargers couldn't convert any third downs in the second half, which kind of killed them. Obviously, that cost the interception. But, I'll still take Phillip Rivers, Melvin Gordon. I'll still take those playmakers on defense when it comes down to December, January time. So I'm not too concerned, even though there's, like you said, there's a history of the Chargers choking down the stretch. I think this is a different team. They got a lot of playmakers. So unless some humongous injuries come across, they should bounce back and they should be fine.
Yeah, 2 straight weeks giving up a fake punt on 4th down for a first down, both of them leading 2 touchdowns as well. Josh, how do you feel?
So my thought is it happens to the Chargers from time to time. They go against the Broncos. They don't quite get that shot over them, but this Chargers team is a little bit different than the past. You feel a little bit more of a unity between all these players, and it looks like they want to do better for every game. So I think they want it. They have that circle of the Kansas City Chiefs coming up on, and they know that they're coming up on the schedule, and they want that revenge game from earlier in the season.
They also got Baltimore in Baltimore, and they got the Steelers in Pittsburgh, along with the Chiefs, the Broncos again. So tough schedule for the Chargers going here on out. This was one that they should have had, to be honest.
But what I was going to say is Phillip Rivers is still showing that he, with over having 400 yards, passing, it's impressive. It's not like it just shows how much he trusts his offense and how much now with Bosa back, they're going to get even more better as the year keeps going.
Yep, over 120 yards and penalties as well. That is not good. Speaking of luck, you see what I did there? The Indianapolis Colts, man, they're back. They're back in the race for that last wild card spot in the AFC. Andrew Luck is the top 2 quarterback fantasy-wise in the NFL now, and him and Mahomes after tonight. And, his 3 touchdown pass game kept on going against the Tennessee Titans, a game that I thought would be high scoring, but not just one side like it was. Mariota went out, and when Mariota goes out of the game, the Tennessee is pretty much the worst team in the NFL. But they look good. He looks good. T.Y. Hilton's back and healthy. They got Mack looks good. They got some rookie running backs that look good. Their defense is absolutely playing wonderful. And guess what? Who would have thought they have an offensive line that's playing well in Indianapolis? You guys think the Colts can make a rush for the playoffs here and maybe get that last wild card spot?
You know what? That sixth spot in the AFC is going to be a wild card. I think there's like 6 teams that are 5-5 right now. It's all up in the air. And like you said, the Colts have a lot of things going for them right now. They're on a 4-game winning streak. Luck has a 13-1 TD to interception ratio during that winning streak. T.Y. Hilton is getting in that groove again. But not enough credit is being given to the offensive line. When they're able to run the ball and take some pressure away from Luck, and kind of open up that defense so they don't stack the box and let him air it out some, that offense is potent. And if they can keep doing what they're doing, they got some games against Jacksonville and Houston weeks 13, 14. Who knows, man? This Colts team who was once 1-5, they could be in the damn playoffs.
Playoffs?
And where did playoffs come from? The former head coach of the Colts.
You're
Are
right.
we talking about playoffs?
You are right, yeah.
Come on, man. Give me
Jim
some of
Morris.
that.
Yeah, with his white wig and his
But, I will say, they don't just have luck. I think, unlike the Raiders, they will make the playoffs.
we all
come
know
on.
that.
Don't throw some shade like
More
that.
on that on the Thanksgiving special. But real quick, Tyler Reynolds, we're just ending our NFL Week 11 news and notes. Wants to know, he wants to see our Super Bowl predictions, if we have any. Real quick, Tyler. Mine at the beginning of the year were the Chargers and the Rams. I'm sticking to my guns and saying the Chargers, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to switch my Rams to the Saints. I think it's going to be Saints and Chargers, only because the Chargers are the only team in the AFC that seems to have a defense. I think that's going to be the difference going forward, and I like that as well. Do you guys change yours, or how do you guys feel? What are your Super Bowl now, real quick, on a fly, for Tyler? For good old Tyler.
Same as the Patriots and the Rams.
See, I had the Patriots and the Eagles, so I'm gonna kind of take a mulligan on the Eagles.
Mulligan, okay, that's a good one.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a little mulligan, so I'll probably throw in the Rams. You know what? When a head coach is only a year older than me, I'm a little jealous and envious. So I'm gonna stick with him and be a hater.
There you go. Okay, we're sticking with there. So there you go, Tyler. Thank you for listening, man. Those are our Super Bowl predictions. I'm sure they'll change each week. And when the season winds down, too, we'll have a full playoff bracket and everything that will run down on the show. So stay tuned for that. All right, guys, big week in college football coming up. It is Rivalry Week. That's right, Rivalry Week in college football. One of my favorite weeks to watch because it's the end. We get to find out who's in the conference championships. We already know a lot of them, most of them actually. But, it's going to kind of wind down to the rest of the teams that kind of fill in to see who's going to lose to the big teams that are already in and kind of get an idea of what's going to happen in the college football playoffs. So we're going to run through real quick, go over some questions that I have for everyone, and we're also going to give our top 4 predictions, not in any particular order. Although if anyone doesn't have Alabama number 1, they're probably high.
Anthony.
Really high.
Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
Josh Gordon.
Yeah. Yeah, Martavis Bryant. Yes. All the above. All right, guys. Should we just crown Alabama the champions?
You kind of have to at this point.
Unbeatable, huh?
Pretty much. They take down a number 3 LSU team who was dominant prior to going in and just shut them up and shut them out.
And now they're not even the same team anymore. You could tell they're like hurt.
Exactly. This team is unstoppable, I see this year, unless something drastic happens.
Okay, so you're not in on Georgia upsetting them in the conference championship then?
Not even close.
Or Auburn?
No.
In the Iron Bowl?
As good as Auburn always plays in the Iron Bowl, Auburn's not the same team this year.
They're not. Anthony, is Alabama going to win the whole thing?
You know what? If you're a betting man, obviously, that's the smart pick. But, Clemson right now, it's going to take a perfect game by anybody. But I think if Clemson can play that perfect game with that pass rush, and if they can make Trevor Lawrence, if he can play like a fifth-year senior and not, a freshman like he is now, if he can grow and really mature in the next couple weeks, which is asking a lot, but still, I think Clemson has the talent to do it. But it's going to take a perfect game. But still, I think, I'm always a long shot. I always think there's hope for there. Remember that, guys. So I'm going to think if Clemson can do that, if they can keep going, they're playing really well. Defensively, I like what they can do, especially rushing the passer. And with that defensive front, they got a lot of NFL talent there.
There's hope for there. And if he could grow like his hair, Lawrence, I think he has some locks, man. He has some hope for their locks right there. There's hope for his hair. Yeah, it looks like Fabio playing football out there. It's pretty crazy. Okay, The Game, starring Michael Douglas this weekend, 9 a.m. ABC. Michigan and Ohio. Ohio State, the Urban Meyers, had to pull one out of their butthole against Maryland this weekend. And what a game that was, by the way. It was a pretty awesome game. And it kind of set up a quasi-semifinal game to see who plays Northwestern in the Big Ten Championship. This game has always been, who knows, when you think someone's going to win, it's the other team that wins. It's kind of crazy. This is like the game everyone pencils in on their calendars, as they all say. And, DMX, he's always down for the game as well. Michigan, Ohio State. Who wins to face Northwestern?
I got to give it up to Michigan. I really think this is their year. Jim Harbaugh, he's been hyped up as the next coming and hasn't been able to do it for Michigan the last couple of years. But I think they finally have that team. That defense is stout. And I think they're going to be able to overwhelm Ohio State. Shea Patterson, this is probably the best quarterback they've had in a few years. And I think Patterson's going to be able to navigate that offense. They're going to stop Ohio State on defense, and they're going to get their first win in Ohio since 2000. And Jim Harbaugh is going to be one of those top 4 teams to make it to the playoffs and finally give some hope for Michigan fans.
Hope for there in his khaki pants. Josh, who wins?
You got it.
I'm going with the Ohio State because when you think you have it figured out and you're Michigan, they always find a way, and Urban Meyer finds that way.
You are right. This seems like the perfect game for Ohio State to go in there and win and knock them out. Like, it just seems perfect. And I'm with Josh on this one. I think Ohio State has the offense to match, and it's at the Horseshoe, and I just think Ohio State somehow pulls this off. I just think they do. I think both teams, either one of them will beat Northwestern handily, and neither one make the college football playoffs because of it.
What?
Yeah. Think about that for a second. Anyways, moving on. The Mad Hatter is back. You guys remember Les Miles when he was a thing at LSU?
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Les Miles, the Mad Hatter, took a job for, get this, the worst team in Division I college football. Yes, the worst team in Division I college football. Kansas. Les Miles will be the new head coach of Kansas.
Well,
wow.
There's hope for there.
Yeah, there's hope for there. Statistically, they are one of the worst teams in college football over the last 5 years. They get uphill battle for him. I mean, in his recruiting, yes, he's going to get some better recruits, but is it going to be enough to say, hey, come play for me at Kansas or go play for Ohio State? I don't think so. I think it's a bad move for him. I think it's a kind of a money grab. I don't see him. I mean, you see him staying there more than 5 years?
5 years is a long time, especially in college football. But you know what? Isn't this the perfect match? You know, you got a weird guy like Les Miles. Kansas has just been the doormat in that Big 12 conference for so long. They've been known as a basketball school since the beginning of time. The football team's just an afterthought. But I think Les coming in here, there isn't a lot of pressure because that team is just garbage. But like you mentioned, he can recruit. Is he able to get some of these athletes in there? I think he can. I think he's going to be able to go to these 17, 18-year-old kids' houses. He's going to be able to convince some of these guys who might go to, I don't know, Texas Tech or some of these other schools. They might start to win some games, maybe get some momentum. It's going to depend. If Kansas, which I don't know why they'd be picky, it's not like, you know, they had Charlie Weiss for a couple of years and that didn't work out so hot. But if they can be a little patient with Les Miles, who knows? He might be able to get some things started, man. Be a little optimistic.
Josh, is there optimism in Kansas?
Well, He'll sell people by saying, "I got tickets to basketball games."
There you go. Wait, that's illegal. You can't do that. But yeah. You want to see a top program in the country? Come on to Kansas and watch our basketball team and maybe our lacrosse.
And you know what? I think this is one of those things. If he does pull off some wins, it's just going to be a leaping to better job, and he's out of there within 5 years.
Yeah, I agree with you there. All right, real quick, guys. No analysis needed, just top 4. I'll give you mine first. Going to the college football playoffs, number 1, Alabama. Number 2, Clemson. Number 3, Notre Dame. And number 4, the Oklahoma Sooners.
Nice.
Only loss being to Texas in a close one. When number 15 at the time, Texas is a good team. And like I said, with Michigan losing to Ohio State, and as I predict, and Georgia losing to Alabama, that opens the door for Oklahoma to go right in. Who do you guys have?
I got the same 4, but the only difference is instead of the Sooners, which I think they probably deserve to be in there, but just too many good teams this year. I got the Khakis. I got Harbaugh going in with Michigan, and he's finally living up to that billing. Finally living up to that humongous contract he signed a few years ago.
That Dockers contract.
Yeah, they pay good.
Josh, who do you got?
Plays good, man.
Yeah.
I am going to go with a different number 4 as well. My top 3 are going to be the same, but mine's going to blow both of you away. It's going to be Washington State to go in, and I'll tell you why. It's because Georgia, with the loss to Alabama, will not go in. Oklahoma will lose. Will lose in the Big 12 championship game, I think. And I also think that since the Michigan will lose to Ohio State, they leap them all.
Wow, that would be something. Who's Oklahoma playing in the? They have Oklahoma State this weekend.
They've already played Oklahoma State.
Oh, who's their rivalry then this weekend? Who are they playing in rivalry week? Let's look that up.
In rivalry week, they play West Virginia.
Oklahoma does.
Yes.
Okay, they'll win that game. Then they'll play what? Who are they going to play in the championship? Cincinnati or Pittsburgh or something stupid?
Well, actually, that Cincinnati is in the ACC, so that will not happen. If you give me 1 second, I will tell you exactly who they.
What league's Pittsburgh in? Who they made a championship somewhere? Oh yeah, they get to go play Clemson in the championship game. That's right. That's going to be
the Big 12 is
yet to be determined.
I think it might be Texas going in there, so you might have another rematch.
Oh, rematch. See, and if they beat Texas in a rematch, they're in no matter what. If they beat Texas in the rematch in the Big 12 championship after they beat West Virginia, Oklahoma is in no matter what. Not even a chance.
You're telling me if Michigan wins out,
yes,
Oklahoma's going to leapfrog them.
Could be. If they go in, and the only team they lost to, they beat in a championship game, and they beat them handily in a neutral site. Yeah. Come on. We'll see how it plays out.
But don't you like that number 4?
I like that. We'll see if it happens. I personally don't like Washington State at all, so hopefully that doesn't happen because I can't stand that mustached quarterback they have. Minshew, I hate his name. I hate his face. I'm an Oregon fan, so there's
it is good for the West Coast.
Yes, it is good for the West Coast and the Washington State Cougars and their high school stadium they play in and all that goodness. Yeah, that's great.
All right, but if you got Mike Leach at a press conference at a national championship semifinal, that would be pretty sweet. That guy is gold material.
He is gold. All right, guys, it is time we have about 15 minutes left, so it's time for our Thanksgiving special. I have a list of questions I'm going to ask you guys about what these teams are thankful for and a few players. And just off the top of your head, going to list what you think they're thankful for. This could be a shit segment. It could be a really funny segment. I have no idea. I thought of it myself. I haven't heard this before. I thought I would do something different. I'm not going to sit there and do what everyone else does. Like I said, this is a show that I like to think is different than other sports shows. We don't sit there and go blah, 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 sound like the parents from the Peanuts movies. No. We are actual, funny, knowledgeable sports guys. We have tidbits, as Anthony would say. We have tidbits.
Tidbits.
Bids of tids. Tidbits. Bits of tids. So, Happy Thanksgiving, guys, by the way. I hope you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and everyone out there, too. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Spend it with the family. Family over work, over everything you have in your life, should always, always be number one in your life. So enjoy your Thanksgiving. Cherish every moment you have with your family, your kids, your loved ones, even your parent-in-laws. Yeah, as much as that may suck, enjoy the moment you have with them because you never know how soon it could go away. So what I'm going to do is say, hey, well, first I'm going to name each division leader in football and ask you what you guys think they're thankful for. Okay? For example, the easy one, the Patriots. What are they thankful for? Well, they're probably thankful that they're in the worst division in the NFL. That's a good answer. So I'm going to ask you guys, what are the Patriots thankful for?
I think kind of like what you said, just a quick, that the Jets and the Dolphins and the Bills are the Jets and the Dolphins and the Bills.
That's enough said. Josh, what are the Patriots thankful for?
Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr.
No, it's good. By the way, that is his full name. Look it up. Wikipedia that shit. I'm going to say the
What's
Patriots.
his full name?
Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr.
Jr.
I kid you not. Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. That's right. He would have two middle names, right?
He would. Out of all the guys,
he would have two. He would.
Jeez,
And be a junior at the same time. I'm going to say the Patriots are thankful for a man named James White. If it wasn't for him, they would have a worse record this year. All right, moving on to tonight's prime time. The Chiefs. Who are the Chiefs? What are they thankful for?
I'm going to say what they're thankful for, the dumbest thing about Patrick Mahomes is his love for ketchup on mac and cheese.
Okay. Josh, what are the Chiefs thankful for?
That Tyreek Hill can run faster than a cheetah.
That's good. At Cheetah on Twitter, by the way. Tyreek Hill, you owe me money. I'm going to say the Chiefs are thankful for primetime flexibility. They have now had 4 primetime games this season through week 11. That's a third of the games on prime or weeks on primetime they have been on thanks to flexible scheduling. So the Chiefs are thankful for flexible scheduling. Okay, the Steelers.
The Steelers are thankful that Le'Veon Bell didn't sign that last offer in the offseason.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, I'll take that. Josh, what are the Steelers thankful for?
James Conner.
Yes, very good. And mine goes in the same light. I say the Steelers are thankful for having an offensive line. That doesn't matter who the running back is. They're going to be good. So there you go. All right. Let's move on to the Texans. What are the Texans thankful for?
For J.J. Watt and his ability to be quarterback nightmares.
That's a good one. And not be hurt this year.
And for his health.
Yeah.
For J.J. Watt's health.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Yeah, I am 100% with that, but that Deshaun Watson is getting back to his rookie season again.
Yes, and what mine is the Texans are thankful for, they're thankful to the doctor that did the surgery on Deshaun Watson's knee. Okay, moving on to the Redskins. What can the Redskins possibly be thankful for?
They're thankful that they get to eat turkey on Thursday, and that's about it.
They're playing Thursday.
Yeah, that's all they're thankful they get to eat. Jeez. Poor Alex Smith.
Josh, what are the Redskins thankful for?
They picked the correct Gruden this year.
Oh.
Good one. Oh, and I'm going to say that the Redskins are thankful for the resurgence of Adrian Peterson. But that's a good one. I like that one. All right, the Rams. What are the Rams thankful for?
They're thankful for 32-year-old coaching prodigies.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, I like that. Josh, what are the Rams thankful for?
Aaron Donald and how he could get after quarterbacks.
Okay, there you go. And that contract. I'm going to say the Rams are thankful for the lack of defense in the NFL this year. All right, moving on to the Bears. What are the Bears thankful for?
Oh, I don't want to say this, but I have to. It's too eoo easy. That John Gruden didn't need a pass rusher this year.
two Gruden jokes already. More to come.
Man.
Josh, what are the Bears
from a
thankful
Raiders
for?
fan.
Yeah. What are the Bears thankful for?
That their line is good enough to where it could be Cohen or Howard running the ball, and they could still move. They could still make holes for them.
Yes, and now mine is the Bears are also thankful for Tariq Cohen doing backflips while catching 2 footballs at the same time.
Ridiculous.
And also being 5'6", whatever he is. All right, last but not least, the New Orleans Saints. What are the Saints thankful for this season, being in first place?
Because of Drew Brees' abundance amount of young kids, the fact that he can't retire yet. That's what they're thankful
Just
for.
because he has to pay their allowance.
Dude, he
or
has
what?
4 kids.
Phillip
under 8
Rivers
years
has
old.
like
It's-
7 kids. More on that later. All right. What are the Saints thankful for, Josh?
That their name is actually after something that's very holy to them. So they have a saint that's actually looking after all of them, especially a guy who's just as old as Drew Brees is and still can throw more than anybody else in the league.
Nice. Mine is the Saints are thankful for Mark Ingram doing steroids and getting 4 weeks extra rest going into the remainder of the season. Okay. So now I'm going to name some players and some not players, but in the NFL. And you guys have any, please bring them on me as well. What is Le'Veon Bell thankful for this Thanksgiving?
Le'Veon Bell is thankful for nothing. Nothing at all.
He's just going to eat with nothing on his mind. Just going to eat.
Yes, there's nothing I could say about Le'Veon Bell that he's thankful for.
He is thankful that he could go back to Miami and hang out in his house and wait for a call.
I got 2. 1.
Oh, I already knew you were going to have a couple.
Le'Veon Bell is thankful for the low prices at Planet Fitness.
Oh, yeah.
And 2, Le'Veon Bell is thankful that rappers go longer into the career than football players. That's right.
Oh, my gosh.
All right. What is John Gruden thankful for?
Oh, my gosh. Oh, man. John Gruden's thankful that Mark Davis's love for him supersedes any move that he can do this year.
Josh?
John Gruden is thankful for Amari Cooper and Khalil Mack showing how the Raiders could be.
Nice. And mine is John Gruden is thankful for that the Monday Night Football crew is so terrible that he could easily get his job back next year.
That's good.
Yeah. All right. What is Phillip Rivers thankful for? I got a new one now.
Oh, Phillip Rivers is thankful that he gets to play in the AFC West.
What? Yeah, against the Raiders twice a year, I guess.
Yes.
All right.
Yes,
What is Phillip Rivers thankful for, Josh?
That he knows that he has as many kids as Drew Brees does and that they can play against each other in college.
Hey, you could create a whole team with the Breeze and Rivers kids. Mine is Phillip Rivers is thankful for bolo ties.
Oh, my God. He does rock a bolo tie.
He does. All right, guys, look, a few more left. We can keep on going. These are too fun. Aaron Rodgers. What is Aaron Rodgers thankful for?
Wow. Aaron Rodgers is thankful that the Cheeseheads do not care how bad he's playing.
Okay, Josh?
He is thankful for No Shave November. That way he could grow his stash out.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Aaron Rodgers is thankful for brunette celebrity women that like to date him.
No.
Even though he's not very good looking. All right, guys. What are Browns fans thankful for this year?
Wow. You know what? The Browns, they're thankful that Baker Mayfield isn't a complete train wreck. That's what they're thankful for.
Fair enough. Josh?
I was going to go on a pun of that they have a Baker that doesn't do turnovers.
Hey!
Watch out now.
Yep, and mine is the Browns fans can be thankful for Chubb.
Ooh.
Just Chubb. You guys have any more? Have any other ones you want to kind of throw in there?
That they don't have to worry about a Hugh anymore.
That's true, yes. But I mean, like any players, teams, you want to go? You want to keep it going?
You know what?
Ndamukong Suh?
Yep.
What is he thankful for?
I think he's thankful that he doesn't have to drop kick anybody at this point in his career.
Yeah, he no longer has to bash heads in on Thanksgiving.
Yes.
I was going to
Rams
say
just
that
to
he
win.
does not need to step on any person's leg anymore.
Yeah. Where was he tonight, by the way? I didn't hear his name mentioned once. Oh, that's right. There was no defense in the game. That's none at all. Zero.
What is Russell Wilson thankful for?
Ooh. A running game.
Gosh.
A running game. That's all you need to say.
Yeah. You took the words right out of my mouth. That's all.
Yeah.
That he didn't have to go to USC to play for Pete Carroll.
Yeah. That too. He would have. Pete Carroll. Russell Wilson's a good guy. He didn't want to take the money. All right, guys. That's about all the time we have for tonight's Monday Night Rants. Thank you, guys. Actually, no, real quick, guys. I'll go. Anthony, what are you thankful for?
You know what? I'm always joking around, but to be a little serious on this holiday week, I'm thankful for my family, my kids. Everybody's healthy, thank goodness. We're eating and drinking at an alarming rate, so I'm very thankful for that as well. And for my good friends around me, for the two guys that I get to share every Monday night with, very thankful for that. It's been a blast doing this. So,
how are your dads doing, by the way?
What's up?
How are your dads doing, by the way?
My dad?
Yeah, bad joke. Sorry. You said the two guys. I said, how are your dads doing, by the way?
Oh, my
Yeah,
gosh. See, even that's why I don't try to be serious. Because if I do, I get roasted. I'm just never going to be serious ever again.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
You're guilty by association, Josh.
There you go.
I'm thankful for the people I do have in my life, and that my team's not the Raiders.
Oh,
Ooh.
come on.
Well, all joking aside, I am thankful for my family, of course, my beautiful wife, my friends, everyone I have around me who help me realize that even in times of stress and everything, is once we all get together, there's always no stress and just a lot of fun and a lot of good conversation and laughs. And I'm thankful for my soon-to-be baby that will be coming in May. And I'm thankful for living in a place or a world where I'm able to do stuff like this, like broadcast live with friends and family and people, and enjoy doing it and love doing it and being able to do it with no restrictions whenever I want. It's a beautiful, beautiful world I live in where I'm able to do this. So I'm thankful for that. And I cannot wait to eat some deep pitted turkey on Thursday with mashed potatoes and stuffing and green beans, and watch some football and listen to In Trust We Sports, because it will be out Thursday morning after we record it on Wednesday night. So go to Apple Podcasts, look up In Trust We Sports, or SoundCloud.com/In Trust We Sports. Listen to it all day on Thursday, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times while you listen to football, while you're watching football, while you're cooking green beans with bacon and all the food, and all the good stuff, the beer. There'll be wine flowing, there'll be beer going, there'll be stuffing, turkey, all the good stuff. And Josh will be joining me as well on that day. We're going to have a good time watching football. Can't wait to see you there, Josh. Going to be a good day. Maybe some cornhole if it's not too cold.
Let's have some good times, and that's what it's all about, is enjoying it with the ones you love.
Exactly. So, Anthony, thank you so much for joining me tonight. It's at Zaragoza Anthony on Twitter, or at Son with Two Dads on Facebook. And Josh, thank you as well. It's at Jay Stanhill on Twitter and Josh Stanhill on Facebook and Instagram and all whatever everyone else. Just look everyone up there, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Have a great and wonderful Thanksgiving. I love you guys both. All kidding aside, you guys are brothers to me, and I'm glad we get to do this type of stuff and laugh and enjoy it. So have a good Thanksgiving. You guys deserve it. Anthony, give love to your family for me. Josh, I'll see you Thursday. And everybody else out there, enjoy your Thanksgiving. Relax for one day. Put all the stresses, wake up in the morning, put all the stress aside. It's not stressful. Your family's coming over. You got to go there and cook food. It should be a loving, good, fun day, full of jokes, full of laughs, full of smiles. Put the stress aside for one day. Enjoy your family. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. And until Monday, next Monday, we will have a special guest from Fantasy Alarm joining us. It's going to be a good one. Matt Sells. Look out for that. Have a good week, guys. Enjoy Thursday football. Enjoy Thanksgiving. And always remember that even in this time we live in, where stray cats are going crazy, trust me, I have to keep them out of my house all the time. Please always remember, guys. Happy Thanksgiving, and spay and neuter your pets.